Hello and welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I'm Barjo.
And I'm Hex.
And I am Darren.
Guys, do you know what day it is?
Oh, is it World Cupcake Day?
No, it's the 25th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog.
That is true, Barjo. It's been 25 years since his first game. In fact, I've been formulating a data dump on Sonic for later in the show.
Oh, wow. Well, we don't have a Sonic game to review, but we do have another retro-style platformer in the form of Mighty Number 9.
Oh.
Beck, no time to waste. Calculate the fastest possible route to the lab.
Well, that looks really interesting. He's no Sonic, though.
Well, how about some Sonic trivia then?
Capital idea, Hex. Wrap your head around this one, Spawnlings. It's time for Darren's Challenge. Today, I'm asking you this. In the Sonic games, what is Dr. Eggman's real name? Answer at the end of the show.
I know it. It's
Barjo, you have to let the Spawnlings answer it. Now, let's check in with Goose for some gaming picks.
Goosey.
Hi, Goose.
Goose.
Hey guys!
Hey, Goose, you know, I've never asked you this. What's your favourite Sonic game?
Well guys, I'm more of a Nintendo fan, so I never really dabbled with Sonic back in my days.
Oh, what a shame. There were so many great ones. I liked Sonic Spinball. It was kind of like a pinball machine. It was really cool.
Yeah, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was one of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah, sure, alright, I'll check them out in my spare time. But for now, here are my picks for this week. And first up, some good news and some bad news. The good news is we have an official release date for the Minecraft movie. The bad news is it's not until May 24th. 2019? Oh, yikes. An update on Mojang's website broke the news, saying that might seem like a long time away, but it just so happens to be the right amount of time to make it completely awesome, and we all want an awesome Minecraft movie, right? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how awesome it is in 3 years. Next up, the slightly historical strategy series Civilization is getting a whole lot more educational. At the Games for Change conference, the game's lead developer, Sid Meier, revealed that they will be partnering with Glass Lab Games to make Civilization EDU, a special version of the game designed for high school classrooms. And it's due out next year. Who says games can't teach you stuff? And speaking of things coming out next year, Sonic will be getting a brand new game in 2017. Details were scarce when it was announced at a recent 25th anniversary celebration, but they will apparently be spilling all of their Sonic beans at Comic-Con later this month. Maybe I'll play that game. And lastly, a final reminder to get your Pokemon designs in if you haven't already. Submissions close on July 13th, which is next Wednesday, so get cracking and send your entries in here if you want a chance to win some sweet Spawn Point loot. But that's all for now, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Goose. All right, guys, you ready to get your puzzle on?
Affirmative. I've set aside the necessary processing power for this express purpose.
Then let's warp shift.
Warp Shift is a puzzle game brought to us by Swedish developer Isbit Games. It follows the adventure of a young girl called Pi, who stumbles across an alien object in the forest.
The strange object sends her plummeting into a zero-gravity chamber, and she finds herself trapped. And so the puzzling begins. You'll have to shift various mini-chambers around to create a clear path for Pi to get to the exit portal, and eventually free herself.
The game has a good learning curve as it teaches you the very basics of moving through each mini chamber with some nice and easy examples to start with. But it's not long before you're pushing your synapses to their limits to try and figure out the best way through.
Maneuvering the chambers is simple enough. These games are always so well suited to the swiping of a touchscreen.
Yeah, and you can easily keep shuffling the boxes around as many times as you like until you see a clear path. But it's not that simple. Each puzzle solution awards you with a star rating, depending on how many moves you had to make in order to get Pi to the exit portal.
Indeed. A 3-star solution is the goal, meaning you've solved the puzzle in as few moves as possible. The more you shuffle chambers around, the fewer stars you're rewarded.
And that may not mean much to you if you're not interested in scores or getting the most challenge out of the game. However, in order to progress to the next part of the larger tower, you'll need a certain number of stars. So there's no fudging your way through this.
No, and at first I was a little bit annoyed. I just don't like it when my progress is blocked by something like not achieving a high enough score, especially since it means having to replay levels again. But then again, the game would be far too easy otherwise.
Affirmative. Besides, replaying levels means you have the opportunity to build your own puzzle-solving strategies and improve, which feels satisfying.
You're given the option to use a few free hints as well, which show you the solution to a puzzle if you decide to use them. If you need more, however, you'll have to purchase them using real money.
Yeah, and that was a bit frustrating since this is already a game you have to pay for.
I guess that's their way of encouraging you to really try and stick to figuring out the best solution on your own.
Yeah, I just think it would have been nice if there was maybe another way to earn hints without having to pay for them.
As you progress higher up the tower, puzzles get larger, and the puzzles get trickier as you need to line up certain blocks and doors in order to get through.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll need to first get to a lever or collect an item before you can reach the next portal, which makes it harder to keep your moves to a minimum.
I want to make mention of the art and animation in this game. It's just so beautiful. I love the colors and the design.
Oh, and the way Pi somersaults and floats about looks so fluid and free.
Well, we should wrap this up, you guys. What are you giving it, Hex?
Well, this is exactly the kind of puzzling I like to while away an afternoon with. It's simple in concept, but complex in design. I do wish there was some way to earn more hints, as I said, but that's my only real criticism. I'm giving this 4 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I loved this. There's something quite meditative about it. The swiping, the floating, the shuffling. I found this hard to put down, and I love the challenge of it. So I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Ah, my data dump on Sonic has finished processing. It's happening!
Oh, hang on a sec, Darren. I've got to suit up for this.
I can't hold much longer. He'd better be fast.
Okay, Darren, I'm ready.
Data received.
Barjo, what happened to you?
I went too fast, Hex. I went too fast.
2016 marks the 25th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic made his debut way back in 1991 as a mascot for the Japanese video game company Sega. His striking cobalt blue color was chosen to match the Sega logo, and his red shoes were inspired, in part, by Santa Claus.
I've got some Sonic trivia of my own, Darren. Did you know that his original name was actually Needle Mouse?
Affirmative. Sonic was born of an intense rivalry. 25 years ago, Sega and Nintendo had the most popular video game consoles on the market, and Sonic was created as Sega's answer to Mario. It was the dawn of the 1990s, and Sonic offered a fresh new look for a new decade. Mario was portly and plodding, but Sonic had attitude. Above all, Sonic was fast. His first starring role was in Sonic the Hedgehog, a game designed to showcase the power of Sega's then new home console, the Mega Drive, sold in America as the Genesis. Sonic's ability to run at phenomenal speeds made spectacular use of the Mega Drive hardware, showing off a technical feature known as blast processing. This was platforming like no one had ever seen before. The first game was a hit, and Sonic became a superstar overnight, spurring Sega to start farming out the sequels. Over the years, Sonic has starred in dozens of different games, with cameos in many more. He's been the star of 5 different cartoon shows, and there's a feature film in the works too. And while he was created to vie with Nintendo's mascot for sales supremacy, the 2007 game Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games saw these two rivals compete in a spirit of friendship. A curious feature of the Sonic franchise is that quite a few of his games in the 21st century have actually been really, really bad. Like Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, Sonic Unleashed, and more recently, Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. But Sega has never given up on Sonic, and Sonic never gives up either. When he fails, he dusts himself off and tries again. Truly an inspiration to us all. Gotta go fast! Oh.
I think my favourite thing about Sonic is how he saves all those forest animals at the end. So lovely.
Oh, yeah. You know, I was the first one to finish Sonic the Hedgehog 1 in my entire school. Got all the Chaos Emeralds as well.
Well, now it's time to help a new generation at the Ask Spawn Point desk. Oh, off you go. Oh.
You're too fast for me, Barjo. Okay, well, let's get to these questions. And first up, we actually have a letter that we got from a spawnling we met in Perth. She calls herself the Queen of Pixelated Unicorns in the Macaron Palace in Western Australia.
Sounds delicious.
Look how pretty it is.
Oh, check out that envelope.
Pixelated cat on the back of it.
That's a sweet little cat.
Great drawing.
Yeah, nice one.
Yo, good game. I've got some questions for you. 1. Could you tell me your favorite Pokemon starters from each region? 2. Are there any Wii U games compatible with the Wii? 3. Which Pokemon games are your favorite and which do you think is the worst? Hex, do these. P.S. Darren is a noob at singing, but an expert at avoiding himself from drinking the noob cup. Well, thanks for your letter, Your Pixelated Highness, but I don't know if I can remember all of the starter Pokemon off the top of my head, but I usually like to go for the fire types. How can you go past Charmander? And you can bet I'm going to be picking Litten in Sun and Moon.
I'm always partial to the water types myself. Mudkip is the best, right?
Well, that's debatable, but I suppose there's no accounting for personal taste, right?
Right. Well, as for if Wii U games are compatible with the Wii, well, no. It's not possible at all to run Wii U games on the Wii. Wii U games are designed to run on the Wii U's more powerful hardware. Also, many games use the Wii U's gamepad, and that doesn't work with the Wii. But you can run any Wii game on a Wii U.
As for favorite Pokemon games, that's tough. There are a lot to choose from. Mostly, I think it depends on what game you grew up with, which for me was Soul Silver.
Yes, well, Pokemon Snap was mine. You got to drive around and take pictures of Pokemon. It was sick. As for the worst, well, that dubious honor probably goes to Pokemon Dash. You just had to constantly rub the DS screen to try and win races with Pikachu. Blurg!
Oh, yeah. But let's move on to this one now from the Maniac Mechanic, who is in Melbourne, Victoria.
You will have to answer these questions or else you will never be able to use a functional car, real or virtual. 1. I saw a trailer for Forza Horizon 3 and saw some kangaroos. So is the new Horizon based in Australia? 2. Are there any other open world car racing games out in Xbox and Wii U? 3. What virtual consoles are available / coming soon other than the PlayStation VR? Answer these questions, or you not be able to use any sort of car again. P.S. Everyone do this face.
Well, Maniac Mechanic, yes, Forza Horizon 3 was recently revealed at E3, and yes, it is going to be set in Australia. And from the sounds of it, it's going to feature real-life locations too.
I actually had a chance to play it at E3 this year, Hex, and it was a lot of fun. It was good to see there's some real-world locations in there, like the Yarra Valley, the Great Ocean Road, and Byron Bay.
Yeah, I saw the game's map though, and it looks pretty unrealistic. The 12 Apostles, for example, were north of Byron Bay, and if my geography is up to scratch, I'm pretty sure they should be as south as mainland Australia goes.
Yeah, but I think it's fine. The map is highly stylized, so you can get around the cities quickly and the countryside and the outback. Otherwise, it would literally take days to drive across the map.
Well, that's true. And in a nice touch, it's been confirmed to be coming out for both Xbox and PC, and both versions will be able to play online together.
As for the open world races on Xbox One and Wii U, well, I can only think of one available for the Wii U, and that's Need for Speed Most Wanted, which is also on Xbox One.
But speaking of the Xbox One, there are a few more options there. You could try The Crew, which features a stylized recreation of all of North America in an online, massively multiplayer-style racer.
And of course, there was Forza Horizon 2, and all the other recent Need for Speed games have had open worlds as well.
But as for upcoming consoles that support virtual reality, well, as you said, the PS4 will already be able to support the PlayStation VR, but they have also confirmed that the upgraded PS4 coming out will be able to support an even better VR experience.
And Microsoft obviously didn't want to be left behind because their upcoming upgraded Xbox One, Project Scorpio, was specifically mentioned as supporting VR when it was revealed at E3.
Yeah, although we don't know at this point whether Microsoft will reveal their own headset similar to PSVR or whether it will support existing headsets like the Rift or the Vive. But it will support VR in some form, that's for sure. So, let's move on to this one now from Emma, who is in Canberra in the ACT. Trouble typing there.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's alright, it's my job anyway. How do I submit entries to the Pokemon competition?
Well, Emma, that's simple enough to help with. Just go to our website here Click on the Goose's Gaming Picks link here on the sidebar, and you'll find all the information you need to submit your entry there.
Yeah, but you should hurry because there's only a few days left to enter. All right, well, next up we have this one here from the Dalek King, who is in the Dalek Mothership, which is in the Northern Territory. What's it doing there?
Get out of the Northern Territory.
No, they don't need you
That's
guys.
where crocodiles live.
True.
Hi GGSP, how do you get mods on Cap PS if you don't answer me and my legging of dailies will astromonat you? PPS Hex do these. PPS Daron is a noob. Dalek King out. Well, your Dalek Highness, we certainly don't want to be exterminated, but Hex, what's Cap?
Oh, I think the spawning might mean KSP or Kerbal Space Program.
Ah, well, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, neither do I. But I bet I know who does. Let's
Who?
give Darren a call.
Yes, let's do it.
Do you want me to?
I might need help.
Oh,
If you could just call Darren, that'd be great.
Hello.
Hey, good old Dazza, how you doing, mate?
Oh, I'm quite good, actually. So what can I do for you today?
Well, the Dalek King here is wondering how to install KSP mods, and we were hoping you would know.
Oh, the Dalek King. Is he threatening to exterminate everyone again?
More or less, yeah.
That's classic Dalek for you, isn't it? Well, I can definitely help him out with that. So, firstly, before you go modding your game, you should always back up your entire game folder in case anything goes wrong and corrupts your game. To do that, simply find your game folder's location, right-click on the folder, and select Copy. Then create a new folder called KSP Backup or something similar, and paste the folder in there.
Good advice, Darren. It can be surprisingly easy to mess up your game by using too many mods.
Affirmative. And it never hurts to have a backup. Now, as for installing mods, firstly you have to find the mods. The easiest way to find them is to simply start the game and select Add-ons and Mods. And then that will take you to the official website which hosts all the various mods available. Otherwise, you can also just do a web search for KSP mods, and it should be the first result. Now, simply pick whatever mod you want. Let's say we want MechJet for now. Select it, download it, and open the downloader zip file. Then, in your Kerbal Space Program folder, find the folder called Game Data, and simply drag the mods folder into the Game Data folder. And there you have it. Your mod is now installed.
well, that seems straightforward enough. Thanks so much for that, Darren.
Oh, anytime.
All right, well, bye, Darren.
Hi, Darren. I'll just hang up.
Sure. I mean, I can... Great. Okay, well, on that note, we're out of time for this week. If you'd like to ask us something, then you can go here and send in your question.
Back to the studio, Hex.
Wait, Barjo, I'm not as fast as you.
Come on, Hex.
Wait, I'm not as fast as you, Barjo Sonic.
In the early 90s, platforming greats like Sonic sometimes had to give way to a B team of action heroes. And one of those was Mega Man. Co-created by Japanese game director Keiji Inafune, Mega Man was a side-scrolling hit.
And now Inafune-san has made a spiritual successor to that series of games with Mighty Number 9, a game developed with money contributed by fans who wanted to see it get made.
And the end result is very similar to Mega Man in style and gameplay. You play an android named Beck, who is the 9th of the Mighty Number robots. The other 8 Mighty Numbers have been infected by some sort of mysterious virus, and you'll need to face them all in battle to save the world.
Come on. Snap out of it. Now. And that means a lot of jumping and a lot of shooting. It's a very simple control scheme, with Beck only being able to shoot left and right. That's right, you cannot shoot at an angle or directly up. So you're always lining up horizontal shots with well-timed jumps and using your dash to reach the safety of platforms. I love that dash.
Yeah, you can use it to get out of quite a few scrapes. When you do shoot at your enemies, though, you will temporarily stun them, and this allows you to dash into them and absorb their Zell, which can grant you a temporary boost to your speed, defense, or the damage you do. I quite like this idea, and you can chain together some pretty nifty attack and dash combos that look quite cool.
Yeah, it's not a bad system, but none of the action overall really came together for me. It just sort of plods along. And it felt like I was always fighting against the controls, struggling to get through what should have been some really basic sections.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely something clumsy about the feel of this game. I succumbed to a lot of frustrating deaths that felt more like the result of bad level design or unresponsive controls rather than my own skill. Actually, I was ready to rage quit on more than one occasion.
That is forgivable, Hex, especially when a game is willing to punish you with one-touch deaths, no matter how much health you have. The main character, Beck, also has a limited number of lives, so even if you make it to the final boss fight of a level, failure will condemn you to replaying the entire level over again.
Yes, and if the levels were really fun, I wouldn't mind that, but they're kind of lifeless. Such as this level with all the corridors we have to find Mighty Number 8. Oh, it was just endless running left to right through the same rooms again and again. So boring.
Yeah, and you can tell they've tried to alleviate some of that frustration by allowing you to tackle any of the levels in the game in any order. So if you do get stuck on one, you can go and try a totally different level for a change of pace. And there's a decent variety. What did you think of the boss fights, Barjo?
Well, they're totally old school, which is great, but they're also infuriatingly hard, which is bad. You get trapped in a room with limited space to move, you need to memorize various attack patterns, and stick it out until the boss's health bar reaches 0. These kind of end-of-level fights can be really tense when designed well, but these were so unfair that it wasn't satisfying to actually beat any of these bosses. It was just relief when it was finally over.
It's never a good sign, is it? I think the main problem is that all the bosses have 1 or 2 moves where it isn't clear how you should avoid getting hit. And that just makes you rage.
Well, if you want even more of a challenge, Mighty Number 9 includes an EX mode that puts Beck into virtual space to complete a number of obstacle courses, such as getting to the end of a level without attacking or dashing. But these bonus levels too feel uninspired.
Yeah, I didn't want to look at any of those more than once.
You know what, guys? I know we're being really harsh on this game, but I couldn't find anything that I actually liked.
No, me either. And, I really looked at the art and the music and the characters, but it's all pretty charmless. Some people might say this has retro appeal, but I'm giving it 2.
The worst part is, lots of people put their own money in to help make this game happen. It cost $4 million, but it doesn't really show it, so they're going to be disappointed. I'm giving it 1.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Well, we're almost at the end of the show, but Darren, it's time for the answer to your challenge.
Affirmative. At the start of the show, I asked you this. In the Sonic games, what is Dr. Eggman's real name? And the answer is... Dr. Ivo Robotnik!
Nicknamed Eggman because of his body shape.
Oh, the Sonic experts are on the case. Next week on the show, we've got something intergalactic for you. It's our review of LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens!
Feel the Force!
You might need this.
Goodness. Oh, guys, we've played so many LEGO games, but I'm always up for one more.
Yeah, especially when it's Star Wars. Hey, Darren, you should invite R2-D2 over for a bit of a co-op session.
Negative. Last time he was here, he leaked oil all over the Darren cave. He's a total mess, that robot.
Gross. Well, until next time, Barjo Sonic out.
Hex out.
Darren out.
It's a bit rude of R2-D2. Did he clean up after himself?
Negative. He left his his grease all over the controllers.
He's a big shot, doesn't need to clean up after himself.
Some of these superstars, they get an attitude.
Yeah.